What is up, you guys? Before we get into this episode with Beasley, just wanted to say my bad. We're a little behind on episodes only because, well, life happens. Premiere Pro wasn't working on my laptop for a while. Premiere Pro is what I use to edit the podcast. And, well, it took me a hot minute to figure out that it's because I ran out of space. For those of you who don't know, I use a gaming laptop. I don't have a PC. So, yeah, man. Always check your space. Anyway, enjoy the episode. We're going to catch up. We're going to get back on track, friends. And yeah, man, enjoy. Bye. I'm so awkward. The views expressed on this show belong to the host and guests of the Dust to Dawn podcast. For any questions or concerns, you can contact the host at dondon670-1452 at gmail.com. You're short?
No, I'm just short because it's on a tripod, but it's like
Can the producer flip the screen really quick? You short next week? No, you're fine.
I talked.
No.
I'm just saying it's so short and it's still.
Well, if we put if we put this one,
You're good. You're good. You're
I
good.
feel like we're gonna block your face.
No, you're fine. You're good. It's good.
Are you sure? We can swap.
No, it's okay.
We can acknowledge that. Yeah.
No, yeah, you're good. You're good. It's just funny. It's funny.
Sorry.
No, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm tall. Dispensa. Hold on. I forgot.
Like
The one thing I've done this for how long? You would think I'd learn to start the stopwatch right when we hit record.
oh, true.
Oh boy. I got my note. All right. Well, really quick. Sinky clap. Oh man, now I'm shy. You look me in the eye. Why'd you look me in the eye, dude?
That's how you're supposed to talk to people.
I know, but oh my god. It's been a while since I've had a guest who's not Althea Engman. Uh, so I have a repeat guest, my homegirl, and I'm just like, but I forgot how it feels like to talk to someone that's not on camera. Anyway, now that I'm not so awkward, off a day. Thank you so much for tuning in. Welcome back to the Dust to Dawn podcast. With me on my right for my Spotify listeners is Isabella Santiago, otherwise known as
Beassli.
Beasley on Spotify. Check her out. She has her latest single,
My most recent one.
currently her only original.
Yeah, my
single.
only. That's a lie. There's an original in there, but nobody knows.
Really on
Yeah.
Spotify?
Yeah, only because I needed to populate my Spotify. You know how it goes.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
So you want to talk? We'll talk a bit about it. The one that I know about her, or well, her most recent one,
Mhm.
Skipping Stones. So can you talk to me about that one? Like how was it like with the creative process on that?
Being honest with you, I think that might have been like the first song that I actually liked that I wrote. Yeah, I usually trash the songs that I write, but that's only because it's like I don't know, you know how it is. You make
Yeah.
stuff, you kind of like overthink it.
Yeah, we were talking. So the vlog will come out eventually. Eventually. So today is January 29.
January,
Oh,
sir.
sorry, my age is showing. June.
You're
June. June 29. I just okay, for full context.
here.
Happy New Year. I just woke up, all right? I'm like half awake. Oh, really quick to shout out to Take Notes, DJ Pogi's merch. One of the first guests on the podcast. I think second guest on the pod. Anyway, yeah, during we were having a shoot earlier. The vlog will come out eventually. As of this recording is June 29. June 29. But we were talking in the car. We were talking about how, like I've made. I told you. I said, oh yeah, I made songs when I was like inebriated.
Inebriated.
Is
Yeah.
that the right word?
Yeah, that's a proper word. Yeah.
Okay, I went to school for English, but I didn't finish. So
You're
I'm I'm a dropout.
no, I was gonna say
What?
half literate.
I'm half literate. I'm gonna use that. Right? Sorry, my brain was farting earlier. So earlier when we were doing a shoot, I couldn't find the right word. So I'm like, hold on, my brain is farting. It's just
Which
like,
nobody ever says.
yeah,
Nobody ever says my brain is farting.
but my brain was at that very moment. I didn't know how to interact.
But somebody usually says like, "Oh shoot, I had a brain fart."
Yeah, but right then it was
My
still,
brain is farting.
right then and there it was still farting. Like I didn't know what to think. Okay. Anyway, I talked about how when I'm inebriated, I like to make music. I like to try and make my own original, and I'll listen to it when I'm sober in the next day, and then I delete it because I said this is trash. This is, if anyone heard this, I feel like I
Which
feel
is false. Actually, you should always keep that.
now I know, but like I'm scared. Like one day someone will find that recording and they're like, "Ooh, Don, why do you have a recording of a dying whale?"
What do you mean a dying whale?
Because I'm singing in there, and then I'm like, "Oh my god, am I even on? Let alone, am I even on the right beat? Like, am I
Okay,
on?"
but you wouldn't really know if it was bad unless you shared it with somebody.
No.
No, it's true. Trust me. I actually know. I know what that's like.
Okay, so can you share about that? Like, you're saying someone might actually find it decent.
Yeah.
So I get we're our own worst critic, right? Sometimes I like to tell people done is better than perfect.
Yeah.
Right. But I don't know, dude. I don't have a bad ear. So me listening to that, I'm just like, oh, sorry. Day job. Day job is here. Anyway, sorry, my day job emailed me.
You're good.
Sorry about that, guys. Anyway, uh, I like to say done is better than perfect.
Yeah.
But we're talking about in relation to Skipping Stones.
Mhm.
How come you say this is the only song that you like that you distributed?
I think no, not necessarily the only song. I think it was the first one that I
Oh,
actually had felt like, okay, this is not as bad. I mean, half of me was kind of like, it is okay. It's not okay. And then I actually, this is the thing, I shared it. When I shared it with like a friend, not even like on social media or anything, but I shared it with somebody and I was like, hey, I like wrote this. And they were like, that's pretty decent. That's good. And I was like, that really? And so then it had been sitting in my voice memos for the longest time. Like it wasn't even called Skipping Stones. It was literally called, it's in my phone, but I think it's called Maple Bacon because when I wrote it, it was during COVID. It's like COVID just happened. I'm from Toronto, right? So then like I was in my room and it was like kind of cold. It was like still winter and COVID kind of just happened. So I was writing and it's the first time I actually finished a song. So I was kind of like, yo, okay, I finished a song. That's kind of a first. I usually never do that. And it was decent. And I recorded it and I had like a bag of maple bacon, like potato chips beside me.
I'm hungry.
Sorry. And
Yeah,
so then
because the song doesn't mention anything about maple
no, I
bacon.
know. I'm sorry. Yeah. So then, I wrote the song, I finished it, and it had been sitting in my voicemails for the longest time. And then, I don't know. Fast forward a couple of years, and I finally I
It's
actually
dead.
got it produced. Yeah, I actually got it produced by my buddy Steven.
You can plug him.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, Steven's dope. He's cool. He's from Philly.
Ooh.
I met him through the internet, but I met him through a mutual friend, but and like via the internet, and then
So not Fiverr. You didn't use Fiverr.
my other friend.
We'll get into so Beasley here has a team. I'm like,
Oh, my
wow.
team.
You have
No,
a team.
they're just my friends.
Oh, really? But
Yeah,
you
they're
called-
just my friends. Nah, like we just refer to it as like team, but really
Okay.
we're all just like good. We're all just like tight. We're a good group of friends who just like make music and stuff.
Dang. So speaking of, okay, getting into that, when did you start getting into music? I know you. So backstory, you're born in Guam,
I was born
but
here. Yeah.
but most of your life was spent in Canada.
Yeah, so I grew up in Canada. I grew up in like I guess Toronto would be it. Like I lived in Markham, but it was like 30 minutes away from the city. And then I grew up doing entertainment and like music pretty much my entire life. So I started singing professionally at like 4.
Dang.
And then yeah, so I was and that's when I moved to Canada. So my family moved to Canada and I'd been doing music, entertainment, like acting, singing, like all that stuff from 4 and up, and it hasn't really stopped.
Yeah, cause so for backstory on how I met Miss Isabella here. It was
Isabella.
Isabella.
Wow. Beassli.
Beasley. Oh, sorry. I'm used to calling her by her real name. That's like her government name.
My government name.
Sorry. So Miss Beasley, we'll refer to you as that. I will refer to you as the audience. Sorry. Again, I just woke up and I have to in like 15 minutes and then or 15 20 minutes during the break I have to entertain an email. But uh our mutual friend Ryan, he was I was like supporting the homies when they go on gigs, right?
Yeah.
So back when you were with Shore,
Sure.
yeah, that was their band name here. So, oh snap! And I went and like, yo, this is pretty dope. Like the music, because I'm normally a big punk rock guy.
Oh,
Big,
yeah, that's right.
yeah, I'm a big alternative punk.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, first time I ever heard this kind of cover of shoot. What was it? It's a pop song, man.
Oh, pop song.
I forgot. It
Wait,
was
did you just like walk into the bar?
yeah, and then I was just no, yeah, in the midst of it. Shoot, it was a TikTok song.
TikTok song.
Yeah, it got famous on TikTok. I forgot.
That doesn't help. It's like
I know. I know. Anyway, it was a. I'll get to it. I'll remember it eventually. Then Ryan introduced us, and then here we are.
Mhm.
So I did. Full disclosure. I didn't. I knew she's from Canada,
Canada.
from Canada, but I didn't know that you did music most. In fact, actually, your whole life.
Yeah.
So there was a, how did it go from transitioning from like because I know you did covers and then I think the last time you were here I heard Skipping Stones playing. I think you were like very you said you played an original song on set.
I did. Yeah.
Was it that?
Yeah, that was that. That was like before it was even produced or anything like that. I kind of just wanted to test the waters a little bit and play some of my original stuff. But I think just like growing up because well, in Toronto, like I do a lot of music stuff there, and I do have a band there as well, or a couple bands, and so then we would actually do just like covers because it's just extra cash, right? Like we
Right.
do weddings or like other gigs and stuff like that. But I had been writing since I was like, how old am I now? No, I've been writing since I was like 13 or 12.
Dang.
But I just never,
You never-
I was like too insecure to kind of like
You never
let it out or
you never let the world saw it.
yeah, no. I
Listen to
don't see it or like listen to it or anything like that. And so I kind of just did covers because I don't know, it was just like extra cash and it was like my
Easy.
livelihood and
Right.
whatever. But I had been writing for a while. And then I think like when I had gone through school, I was kind of like, okay, cool, like I'm going to do whatever I did in school or like whatever I had learned in school and uni.
In uni.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's how you know she's not from Guam.
Okay.
Because no one said people are like, oh yeah, when I went to college, when I went to uni, when I went to uni. I've heard people call the universities that,
Yeah.
but typically they're not from here.
Okay.
It's like I don't know, it's slang to me.
Slang.
Yeah,
Sure. Yeah.
I don't know. It's just
Yeah. So when I went to uni, I was like, okay, I should probably apply all of the stuff that I'm learning in uni to like my actual career. And so then, yeah, that's what I did. I was like, okay, I'll take the time. I'll probably try to muster up the confidence to release some of my stuff like for real this time. And so that's what I did. And I'm working on music now.
okay. So that leads to the next question, right? You've been performing since a young age, the tender age of 4, the very tender age, and then. But there had to have been like I know people who also perform since they're like young, but they didn't make it a career path.
Yeah.
So when did you realize you could take this as a career? Like with photography, videography, to me it's still freelance. It's not necessarily a career. Would I like it to eventually? Right? When to me, I realized I could make it a career when I don't know I can pay like a year's worth of stuff just on that income alone.
Mhm.
So, well, when did you realize that okay, I can full send this? And I know you still freelance other stuff here and there, and I'll let you decide if you want to talk about your freelance options. This is your platform, but when did you realize oh I can actually do music full time?
I think I've just been really fortunate because I never thought about like my career or like music or anything like that to be like oh I think I'm gonna do it full time. Honestly, it's kind of just been everything to me. So I've never really thought of it as like a backup or like oh I wonder if I'm going to like make it because that was never a thing. It was just like okay it's someone's livelihood whatever your job is you you find a way. And at the end of the day, it's all business.
So that leads me to that point. You have
Yeah.
a degree, your undergrad's in new media,
Yeah.
and you have a master's in music business.
Yeah.
And then so we were talking about how typically I've gone on the record saying the starving artist mentality is both good and bad.
Mhm.
Currently, I am, even though I don't look it, I'm a very starving artist.
Oh my God.
I'm very starving, you know. So, shoot, what was I gonna say? But your approach is very different because you mentioned it's more. I think earlier, I'm trying to find what we were talking about earlier, but you talk about how it's mostly managing your what money you already have and reinvesting it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you just need to learn how to, well, like in any kind of creative field, you just have to be smart about it. And in a way, it's just like the creative kind of scene is all built off of different like income streams.
Right.
So like if you kind of think about artists, like you've got live shows, right? And then you've got like recorded music, and then you've got brand deals and sponsorships and things like that. Those are all different like income streams. And so then my job, or like any person's job, any creative job, is to figure out, okay, how can I maximize
All these.
all of these things to create like one thing coming in, right? And I feel like that's how it is in just in business anyway. Like you figure out, okay, cool, I have an income stream here, I have an income stream here. Like how can I put that all together so that it's all just like flowing in?
Right. And speaking of income stream, down below I have an Amazon affiliate link. So
Nice.
please click on it. I know you. All you gotta do, again, I've said this a lot. If you're buying, you can click the link and buy anything. You don't necessarily have to buy the camera equipment I put on there. Just click the link, and then like let's say you're buying dog pads, pee pads. Just search it on through Amazon using the link down below. I get a little kickback. Help support the show. You know, I just got a pedicure. I don't want to be using that as a last resort. What? Dude,
No.
I'm always on my feet.
Oh wait, I have.
See? Yeah, that's not girl. I don't get manicures, okay? Pedicures for the feet.
I never. No, I know. Sorry. I got sidetracked a little bit because I was like, dang, you're like the first person who's ever really like admitted to it.
What? That I get pedicure?
Yeah, that's not a good. That's actually a really good thing. Props to you. Yeah.
I thought I don't know.
Normalize it. Nice.
I thought more. I don't know. I think most of my guy friends are like, yeah, we get.
Well, maybe I just don't do sports often.
I don't. I'm not an athlete. I just feet health, man. Like,
You're getting there.
eventually, tomorrow, as of this recording, we'll see if I survive the. I'm doing my first 100K around Guam, so we'll see if I survive.
I can't do that. I can't run.
The cycling, I won't run.
I can't cycle.
I won't. Can you ride a bike?
It's been a while.
You never forget. No, trust me, never forget. You'll never forget. You might fall down like a here or there, but
It happened.
same.
Yeah.
Seti Bay, I fell going up the hill. Not down the hill, I fell going up the hill.
Oh.
Because we have clip-on pedals. Anyway. I feel like we both have ADHD. Do we? Do you? Are you diagnosed?
Not diagnosed, but I'm pretty sure I do.
I'm diagnosed, so I think. So we thought you got your master's degree and you recently got it, right?
Yeah.
And during that time, you're also doing live shows. You're also doing gigs here and there. How was it like doing, well, essentially freelance while getting your degree?
I don't know. It's all time management. I mean, like, are you asking me in terms of like how was it like balancing it?
Like how was your life balance? Because a lot of creatives I know, there's no sleep.
Yeah, no, I like my sleep. I feel like I can't function without it. And it's kind of weird. Like there are times when I am a night owl and there are times when I'm not. I'm definitely like a morning person, kind of like get things done during the day. But I think like in relation to my creative process, I think I'm more of a night owl. Yeah, for sure.
Dude, same, but lately Valorant has been getting in my way.
Valorant?
Do you play Valorant?
I don't play video. I don't know how to use a controller.
What?
Like, you know how okay, listen, there's two. One controls like the camera when you're looking around.
Yeah.
The other one just controls like where you're jumping or walking or whatever.
Yeah.
I can't. I will literally walk and then the camera's going like.
Okay, but I play on the PC.
No, yeah, no. The only PC game I play is Tetris. I'm just being honest with you. Like, do you remember when Tetris Friends was a thing?
I'm older than you, so yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're not that old.
Making me
Jeez, you're making me feel old. You're not even that much older than I am.
during the shoot, I just kept popping my back. I'm like, oh man, it's the weight of not being good enough.
Done.
So I have, for full context, as we know, I have very dark humor. I have very like what do you call it? Self-deprecating humor. To me, it's like it's funny to me.
I mean, same, but
I'll go on record saying it. Anyway, speaking of humor and like maybe not self-deprecation, but
no.
but in terms of vulnerability,
Yeah.
right? Like we talked about earlier, like really see I tell people I play guitar because I can't wear my heart on my sleeve and and like sing or create my own lyrics like that. So how is it like being essentially offering this piece of yourself to everybody?
It's really hard for me, to be honest with you. It's actually really, really hard for me, which is why it's like taken me so long to release some of my music. Like I overthink it. I definitely don't like to share it in the beginning because I'm like, oh, it feels like I'm showing myself too much to somebody. Even though it might not even mean anything. It's just like I think I think like it's good, but what if somebody else doesn't think it's good? And honestly, like no, it doesn't really matter, right? But it's more of the practice of like um just doing it for the sake of getting it out.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Again, I like done is better than perfect
Yeah.
because there's always you can always improve on something.
Yeah.
And then some part of me is like, oh, we could remaster something.
Yeah.
You know, like even a video, like, oh, now I'm better at editing.
Yeah, I think you can totally do that, but it's also just the practice. Like people push out content all they want and they do it and they get better at it because it's just the habit of like putting stuff out. Eventually I want to get there, which is why I'm releasing stuff very soon. But yeah.
Maybe by the time the vlog comes out, maybe her next single comes out.
Yeah, I'm working on yeah, I wrote the song. It's about my parents.
Ooh.
Where it's like a letter to my parents kind of thing.
Okay, can we tease it a little bit? We don't have to. By tease it, I mean, can you talk about what the song's about, like a little more in detail?
So it's basically when did I write this? I wrote this a couple months ago, but it's basically a song to kind of like my parents, kind of going like, okay, this is my situation, and I don't want you to worry about me. I always like haven't been around my family that often, especially the past few years, because we live in like totally different places. So I try to visit as much as I can, but I do know that they kind of like they're my parents. They worry about me.
Of course, of course.
And so because I'm living away, it's kind of just like a letter like, hey, if I'm going through anything, sure, I'm probably having a mental breakdown, but then at the same time, don't worry about it because like I'll figure it out. You're good.
Right,
like,
right.
And almost kind of like reassurance for them is like, you did your job. Like you raised me well. I like to think you raised me well. Like I'll find my way and I'll do whatever I can to get things done and figure it out. But just know that when I do feel like things are not going right or it's not going according to like plan, it's fine. It's gonna be good.
Right. No, and I agree. Like even I'm on a smaller scale. Okay. So like same thing. I moved here. Mom and dad were always worried, right? Especially because I'm the only kid.
Right. Yeah.
So they're always like, oh, why are you're out? Just go home. Like you need to school. I'm like, Mom, Dad, I'm 23. Like I cannot do myself.
Yeah, I was living in a totally different country, and my parents were always like, you have to go home. I don't even know where I am.
Right, like
they're living away at you know that Life 360 app? Yeah. So my parents had that on me because they didn't. I was like alone. Like,
well, honestly though, I feel like that's fair because I think if my daughter was like halfway across the world, I think I would probably be like, hey, why are you at like this bar at 4 a.m. honestly?
Listen, I didn't have a life. I was in school full time. I was working full time.
I get it.
Anywhere.
I get it. And best believe me, but you know, parents always worry.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Right. But
I'm the eldest too. And
you are.
I'm the eldest and I'm the first like daughter.
Ooh, that's more so why they're typically like even regardless if it's like I see if it's the oldest daughter or son.
Doesn't matter the eldest. Yeah.
They're more strict compared to the others. Well, I wouldn't speak from experience, again, only kid.
Right.
But
that's kind of like a thing in itself.
Yeah. Like, oh my gosh, mom and dad were like, there's nothing after you. There's nothing. Like we got to make sure you're doing good. I'm like, I don't know, I survived this long.
Yeah.
I told people, like, I like to joke that my life expectancy was 21 because once I signed my parents' green card paper, I'm like, okay, now what? Are they still gonna keep me? That's the joke us first generation immigrant kids like to say. But yeah, no. So going back into the song, sorry.
Yeah.
Again, very dark humor. So to go back into before we take a break, because we're at like the 20-minute mark, talking about your song, like how did it feel like? You're essentially giving this letter to your parents to the world, to Spotify, all these platforms. How are you feeling like opening yourself up?
I feel like I've grown a lot even the past like 6 months just musically. And as a songwriter, I feel like yeah, it's definitely been kind of a crazy journey because maybe like 6 months ago I wasn't as confident. I'm still not as confident, but it's definitely gotten better. And I kind of have to like give props to some of my friends that I've been writing with. I definitely think it helps when you work with like a lot of other people. Collaboration is super important, and it's just nice to be surrounded by people who not only understand you, but also who kind of get just that like industry and
Right.
who are also like songwriters. You guys share the same kind of passion, right? Same love. So it's kind of cool to kind of hear what they have to say, and then we all build each other up.
Right. So, because I think no matter what field you're in, if you surround yourself by people, you are what your friend group is, right?
Yeah, you are who you are. Wait, what
was
does
the
mom
quote?
say all the time?
Your mom?
Yeah, my mom says it all the time. She's like, you become who you hang with.
Yeah. You are like, I think it's like you're the lump sum of your friends,
Yeah.
right? Excuse me. Oh my gosh, I
Bless
taste.
you.
First time I heard that. Bless you after you burp. But yeah, like I think other podcasters have talked about it. If you hang out with losers, you're essentially the better loser out of all of them. But if you surround yourself with like a bunch of people who are driven, that motivates you to become driven. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And yeah, I agree with that whole point. It's just I still to be that vulnerable. I give people props. Like any songwriter, even whether or not I like the song, I'll be like, you still put it out there. Like like my song could be a really well produced hit. I'm not saying it is. Okay, I'm just super saying it could
If you
be.
share it.
No, you'll never see the light of day. Like you'll have to get this phone and find it. Like I hid it. It's somewhere. It's not even in the cloud.
That's all right.
Yeah. Well, eventually, let me get inebriated and heartbroken again. Maybe another song will be made. But to just let yourself out there, it's just like whoa.
Yeah.
I'm like, dang. But anyway, we'll go into more detail about Miss Beasley's songwriting with a group of friends, and more. We'll dive a little more in depth with respect to the finance aspect right after this quick break. This episode is brought to you by D-Day Studios. D-Day Studios is a local photography and videography service run by, well, me. And this is my podcast, so shameless plug. Be sure to follow me on Instagram at D-Day Studio 670 and send me a message if you want to take some bomb photos today. Again, that is D-Day Studio 670 on Instagram. Now back to the episode.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Beassli. That's my artist name. I sing. As we know, she's Canadian, so I just learned this on the break, and I thought I didn't know it was true. I heard rumors, but you had to learn French because you're Canadian. Yeah, second language of Canada, like official language is French. Can you say like I have scripts like in Korean. I'll be like, oh, 이거 하나 사면 하나 50불 괜찮아요. Sir, I don't know Korean. No, but I have a script. Literally what I said is buy one get one half off. Yes, don't worry, there's a discount. That I don't know. No, but can you say something in like can you say a script in like in French? I've never heard French in real life. What do you? No, I've never heard French being spoken. Look, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm very ashamed of my French. You know why? No, listen. My brother is fluent in French. The younger one? Well, oh, you're the oldest. The younger. The youngest one? No, not the youngest. Okay. Second youngest. He is fluent in French. He's a polyglot, so he speaks multiple languages fluently.
Okay, well, I speak multiple languages terribly.
He's gonna poop on me if I.
He's not gonna. It's okay. It's just him. You're the oldest. You take it.
Je m'appelle Isabella.
What's that? I am Isabella. See, I context clues. Damn.
Je mange. I don't even know if that's right.
What's that? Je mange.
Je mange une pomme. I eat an apple.
Welcome back from the break. I said it was gonna be a short break, but we had fun with the producer, man, off camera.
Manger.
Man, you could have said something. You could have been like, "Oui, oui, mon chéri."
Oui, oui, mon chéri.
See, sacré bleu.
Yes. Wait, what?
What's that? Is that not real?
What?
Sacré bleu.
What?
I got it from the Rugrats movie.
Oui, oui, mon chéri is yes, yes, my dear.
That one I knew because I knew oui is yes
Yeah.
and mon chéri is.
Mon chéri is dear.
How do you say mon chéri?
Mon chéri.
You have to have like a lot of like phlegm in the back of your throat.
Yeah, a little bit. It's like low-key a mukbang. Don't whisper.
We did a mukbang once. We did a mukbang intro.
Did you?
I'll send it to you.
Okay.
Anyway, welcome back from the break. I said it was going to be a short break, but we had a fun time with the producer, and we're a little happy. We sipped on happy juice. Happy juice. So, cheers for my Spotify listeners. We cheers our water bottles. Anyway, we talked about prior to the break. We were talking about a myriad of things. We're talking about from music to entrepreneurship, and we're going to focus on. You have a master's in music business, right? And in the first half of the break, you were talking about different revenue streams, different sources of income, right? And I also like to talk about how people should click on the Amazon link down below. Granted, I say jokingly, but I'm also serious. Please click that, please, before I start selling my recently pedicured feet.
On Feet Finder?
We'll see. Whatever takes me. You don't have to upload your photo. They won't see my face. But I do have to. Apparently, I'm not saying I've done it.
Wait, you have to like upload your like SS though.
Yeah, and my face, so that way the website knows that that's my feed.
The website knows.
Yes.
Dog, yo, watch. Maybe I should sign up.
I had a revenue stream.
Okay.
So we were taught, you could tell that reporter juice be hitting, but we were talking about, or you mentioned as an artist, you should have different revenue streams from your concert sales, from your, it could be merch, it could be freelance gigs, whatever it may be. But in the creative field, it's best to have, because income is not necessarily always constant.
Like on one job.
Like with a 9 to 5, we're guaranteed, assuming you work your 40 hours a week, 80 hours bi-weekly, you're guaranteed X amount per paycheck. So that's the beauty of a 9 to 5 or 8 to 5, whatever. But with freelance career, it's not guaranteed. Some months you can have slow, some months you can have high amounts depending on your sources of revenue. Can you talk about like how your different sources of revenue? Like what, you don't have to go into full detail, but like by full detail, I mean how much you make, but you could talk about like how you were able to diversify your revenue streams.
Yeah. So I've got a day job. It could be in any kind of industry. Like right now I'm doing admin work, and like, I don't know, these days you can kind of do like online work. Like
telework.
Telework, online work, anywhere. Like someone's looking for a virtual assistant somewhere. You know what I mean? So you can do that kind of work and then do your stuff on the other side. So like you have your 9 to 5 or you're like 8 to 5, and then afterwards, let's be real, you can either use that as personal time or like side hustle, right? A lot of people have different side hustles, and you can kind of like do that kind of thing and like make money. Just be smart about it. There's always a market for something.
Fair. So again, we don't have to go into full detail because I understand, but I understand in terms of like some things we don't want to give too much detail about. But how do you find your like some side hustles, some revenue streams you have to create for yourself?
Yeah.
Like my side revenue would be in terms of my day job, my day job. I work 8 to 5, and then I freelance photography, videography on the side.
Yeah.
A side income.
Yeah.
And then occasionally I'll edit a video for somebody.
Yeah.
On the every now and then. Or another podcast will like hit me up and they'll be like, hey, can you make an IG reel for us? I'm like, bet. Here's my rate.
Bet.
How did you discover your different sources of revenue?
I want to say, I think when I went to uni, I think a lot of people just needed, if you think about it, if someone has a business, they need someone to do the admin work. Think about it, it's admin work, but like it's still someone's time. So if they want to like outsource their time to somebody doing like admin work, then cool, like I'll definitely do it. And yo, that pays. Multiply that by like 5.
Is it by 5 you mean 5 different
Yeah.
revenue streams?
Like 5 different like clients. Sure. Like it falls like within the same umbrella, but you've got like 5 different clients on like the, I don't know, marketing front. Cool. You've got like that side hustle. You've got another side hustle where it could be like just strictly, I don't know, color grading, editing. Like, you know what I mean? You can definitely find your market and find whatever somebody needs because someone is always like outsourcing.
Right. So like you could one of the things I tell people too is like sometimes it's good to niche yourself because people are like, oh, I want to be broad in my skill set. And I get that. But sometimes like by mastering one niche field,
Yeah.
like you said, color grading, not a lot of people are good colorists with respect to like videography.
Right.
So I tell people like maybe you should master that one skill so you can charge a higher rate.
What are you good at? Think about that. Like, if you're good at one certain thing, maximize that. If you're good at other things,
what am I good at?
you're great at taking photos. You're great at like being, I don't know, like you're.
See, you don't know. You don't know.
You've got a lot of different talents. My point is like there's always a market for something.
Right, but so here's the thing with me, right? I'm very like, I have this big what do you call that? Personalities, or what do you call that? Imposter syndrome. Because sometimes so full context, this is the second season of this podcast. In the first season, technically I'm preaching and I'm just like, wait, who am I to say this when I don't even take my own advice? You know, and I'll be like, well, this is what I've experienced. I tell people like, this is my marketable skills. This is what I'm good at. Here's how I get my side income. But at the same time, I'm like, I'm still constantly looking. I'm constantly looking to different people, different creators, different entrepreneurs. It doesn't have to necessarily be a creative in terms of like how to expand my portfolio.
Right.
Right. So, but I'm also like, how do I get the next foot in the door? I already know like the basic stuff, like cold calls. Oh my God, the amount of cold calls I've done. But
dude, you'd be surprised though. You do it well.
Right. But like, so after we get like, let's say with an entrepreneur who's already gotten past the step of like cold calls, who's already like, okay, they have their foot in the door, but now they're like, okay, how do you get the leg in the door? How do you get like the rest of the body in there? Because like for me, like, okay, I have my foot in the door. How do we close the deal? I already have a few, like with respect to this podcast, right? Some folks they're looking to sponsor, but they're like, oh, well, we already maximize our what do you call that? Our marketing budget. Okay, that's fair. I still asked you. Some are just like, well, right now we're in a transitional stage.
Okay.
That's fair. But that's local here in Guam. You as a world traveler, I dare say, have different markets from different countries.
Yeah.
How do you get your foot and leg in the door through the doorway into getting these side revenue streams?
I think people definitely like lean towards more of the person, right?
So you, the brand.
Yeah, you as the person. I think like these days, people don't want like fluff. They want authenticity. They want like someone to be genuine. And if you're passionate about it, you might not have the experience, but if you're passionate about it and you really think you could work on it, people will buy that. Right?
I wouldn't know.
I think you can.
Are you speaking from experience? Is my question.
I'm speaking from experience. I definitely have imposter syndrome. Like, I can literally say, like, I've worked on X, Y, and Z. Like, I've definitely worked on, like, these projects, and I've worked with these people, but anybody can say that, right? I think, like, my resume right now in terms of singing and, like, not production, but maybe, like, singing, I can't produce. But, like, in terms of singing, if I could say, like, yes, I've worked on XYZ, like, sorry, Z.
No, you're good. You're Canadian. You're from Canada.
Like, XYZ, like, I've worked on this kind of project, then I mean, like, cool, you can work on that, but is there proof to show that you've, like, worked on that? And I think that's where, like, social media comes to play in, because it's social media is kind of like a portfolio now,
Right.
you know? It's kind of like in the butt, but
Yeah.
dang.
Yeah, we were talking about it earlier when we were doing a shoot. Like earlier I mean earlier in the day of this.
Wait, sorry, I'm so sorry. What was your question?
I'm telling you, she has ADHD.
I don't have ADHD, I just had a little bit too much drink.
No, but you were on it. But I'll go into my thought. We're talking about earlier in the day with regard to social media.
Yep.
Like how it's kind of a pain in the butt, right?
Mhm.
Because like now we gotta post a reel, we gotta post a TikTok, we gotta
Yeah, you
post
gotta do your own
short.
art, and then you have to do, like, your marketing.
Right.
And then you gotta, like, market your stuff, and it's, like, extra work, especially if you're not, like, used to doing that stuff.
Right.
Like, some people are natural at it, like, great, good for you. You can, like, act or be, like, natural on camera, but there are some people who can't.
Right. No, and you know, I tell people too, like there are like even though I like to tell people I'm not the best guitarist. I've said this on the podcast multiple times. I'm not the best guitarist.
Yeah.
I know people who are way better than me. You haven't heard my stuff. Stop lying.
I have.
Stop lying. Anyway, but I may not be the best. There's people who are better than me,
Okay.
but I get paid more than them to play guitar. But that's because they don't market themselves properly.
Right.
And I'm just like, why aren't you marketing yourself? They're like, we don't know how.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, that's interesting because like nowadays, like like with this podcast, even the brand is me.
Yeah.
Like
You are the brand.
right? Like it could. You heard that smack? That was the producer. But dang, you lost it. I lost my train of thought. I found it.
Get it, girl.
Yes. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
You were like, get it, girl. Yeah.
Sorry.
But finding your brand, right? So I asked them, like, how come you don't just ask people? Like, the worst I can say is no.
Right.
Like, but they're like, we don't know how to ask. I'm like, what do you mean? So I realized as a creative and as someone who also did the media that it's also a skill to market yourself. And do I think I can market myself? Yes, but at the same token, I'm always looking to learn, right? Because like even though I think I'm decent in terms of like marketing, like my photography or videography, sometimes I'm just like, hey, I forget I can write for people too.
Yeah. What are your strengths?
Right. So I'm just like, how do I market that? Like, hey, I've done this for people I've done this when I was a news director. I've done this. Oh, sorry, that's the ring. But I've done this.
You married or what?
No, married to the game. But married to the game, friends. Get it. Get it, girl. But but so my question to you then is what was you don't have to go into full detail unless you want to, but how have you marketed yourself? Like what's your strategy in terms of like, hey, you're going to this new country, you want to work with producer blah blah blah.
Yeah.
How do you go about, like granted they're always looking, you could always say, hey, I want to pay this rate. They're looking for, no one turns down money. Or
Okay.
most people wouldn't turn down money. We don't talk in absolutes. But how do you go about like the creative process in terms of like messaging people and marketing you and like, hey, I can offer you this,
Might sound cheesy,
but
but I just try to be myself. If someone doesn't stick to it, then that's fine.
So-
If you do, then cool. Then at least I know, like, well, because when it comes to art, it's very personal. Well, I think, like, it's very personal, so then you kinda just have to do things, like, according to your will, according to, like, how you feel about it, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, but if it does, then cool, right?
So you don't take it to heart when they say no.
If if they say no, then maybe not. Like, it really depends on who it is, but, like, as someone who has to constantly strive for, like, um I don't wanna say income because it's not for income. For me, it's definitely passion. I mean, you know what? I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, income and it's like a huge thing. You need to people need to survive. Like, people need to make money, right? But there are ways to kind of, like, balance the 2, right? The balance is the hard part.
So what was your like? Okay, everyone's different, right? When I get like right now, I tell people like they're always like, "Oh, you got a new camera?" I'm like, "Well," and I sold my last camera to buy a new camera,
Right.
right? So for me, that's just how I go about like my balance,
Yeah.
right? But for you, it's very different. You can't sell you can't sell your voice to get a new voice,
Sell your voice. Can you sell your equipment? Sure.
right?
By all means. Like, you gotta weigh out your options here. Like, this is my strength, this is my weakness. If I can utilize my strength, then I'll do that. It could be in any art. It can be anything. It can be like any kind of business thing. If you're good at marketing naturally, sure. Like, if you recognize that, okay, marketing is really marketing yourself to somebody, right? As a freelancer, right?
Right,
Okay, cool. You've got a style. You have a personality. And I mean, like, everyone has a personality, but, like, how can you market that to someone and be like, how can I differentiate myself from somebody else to be
right,
like, hey, I can utilize my skills as this person and try to, like, make profit off of it.
right, right. Especially, so I tell people too here in Guam, most especially, like to make money as a creative, you have to have a following, which because like
Anywhere.
anywhere, right? But here in Guam, especially, I'm like, they're like, oh, Don, how did you get paid? Because when you were in the media, typically you're not making money. I said, well, honestly, sometimes people hire you to do MC gigs
Yeah,
because
you got different avenues.
yeah, they're like, oh, well, and I hate emceeing. Oh my god! But I'm down. I was during the break we're talking about me finally going to the continental U.S. a little bit because my homegirl wants me to MC her wedding, and I hate emceeing.
Yeah.
But I'm down. But hire me for MC gigs, friends. But
Like below.
click below. Here's my schedule. Here's my rates. Here's the rates on the screen. Watch YouTube. Get me. I finally got a sponsorship. You know, like when YouTube ads play, you get like a little. I don't have enough for followers, but I'm like, yo, I got a YouTube ad. Yes.
I don't either.
Where I was like, oh shoot, I got money coming in 1 cent, but that's 1 cent more than yesterday. Anyway, so thanks. But we're so they're asking like, you don't make a lot of money from this 8 to 5, 8 to 4, whatever. At the times, 4 to 7, 4 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Right.
You don't make because I was salary worker. Oh my god, they got me good.
Yo, okay,
Okay.
okay. I'm gonna say this right now. Doesn't matter what salary you have your priorities. If you budget that according to your priorities, like,
That's fair,
that's
but
like a fair part of it. I mean, like, if you want to invest in some things, you sacrifice something. There's always some sort of sacrifice.
right, right, right. No, and I wholeheartedly
And
agree.
it doesn't have to be monetary. Like, it could literally be just like sacrifice in general. Like, my family has I've been apart from my family for years, and my sacrifice, sure, it might not be monetary, but, like, my sacrifice is that because I'm close to my family in general and, like, they live so far away from where I
Right.
live, that's a sacrifice for me, and
They
I'm very close to them.
right, right. And that's a lot of things that even I need to accept too.
Yeah.
People when they think sacrifice, they think like, oh, I'm gonna sacrifice eating out today, which is fair,
Yeah.
but they forget it's also sacrifice of your time. Like take a and again, I'm thankful of your time and thank you for you being here because you could be with your family. Because again, like
Time is money.
right. And time is money, but also time is something we can always get money back, but we can't
You
get
can't
this
get
time
time
back.
back. No, exactly.
Cannot. Hence why I got my first tattoo as a watch. Anyway, yeah, you never saw my first tattoo?
I saw your first tattoo.
Here, it's a Kirby clock.
Oh, okay, I remember. You
Yeah.
showed me that.
Yeah.
Oh,
My timeline
my
is
tattoo,
showing.
I didn't tell my parents because they got mad.
Oh, I told my mom, and
But
then
you know what? No, I didn't tell my family because I was in Toronto and I didn't tell them. And they
I
drove
told my
away.
mom, and then she thought I wasn't serious, and I sent her the photo. She's like, "Why Kirby?" And I said, "I don't know, just because I don't want to take myself seriously."
It's okay. My mom and my dad thought it was permanent marker.
So when I
I
got
didn't know what to say, so I was like, I just want to be looked at because my dad had like the same placement, and I honestly, if I'm being honest with you, I don't think my dad could say anything because
because he has tattoos. So my parents, my late mom and my dad, they don't have tattoos, right? My mom was okay with the Kirby clock because I explained to her the whole story.
Okay.
But when I got I got the rose and sword.
I remember when you got that. I think I might have visited when you first got that.
Yeah, I got this because my late mom's name is Rosanna, and my dad's nickname in the Philippines is Espada, so sword. So I got sword and rose. So they were very happy about it.
Wait, you're Filipino?
Oh,
You're full?
yeah, I just have an accent.
Oh shoot.
Yeah, buenas and half a day, todo samsu sentido, guajo si don sulat. That was that.
I don't know what that means.
Hello, I'm Don Sula.
Dude, I have the most Spanish name, but like
I don't know.
my family's very mixed.
I'm from my late mom's from Pangasinan. My dad's from Bulacan. My mom speaks Pangalatok, so I know how to say let's eat
Okay.
clearly. So
Okay. Look, I can understand fluently like Tagalog.
I can't.
I can.
I can't. I just have an accent.
I can't speak very well.
People say I'm the chottest fob they've ever met.
They say I'm whitewashed. It's
Dang.
okay. But I can understand well, and I can understand French, and I can understand obviously English.
I hope I understand English. I can understand.
Same. Like half the time, yeah.
I understand Japanese enough to get lost in Tokyo. こんばんは。僕の名前はドン・スーラートです。よろしくお願いします。このは僕の友達イサベラです。よろしくね。Yeah.
My name's what?
Isabella.
Isabella.
Because they don't have L's.
They don't have L's.
Yeah, they don't take L's. Japan don't take. Oh well, they did in World War II.
Oh.
Okay, we're not gonna get political up in here. Watch Oppenheimer.
Barbenheimer.
Oh yeah, that was a good day for cinema. Barbie and Oppenheimer. But anyway, while you drink the water,
make me sweat.
I figured out the song.
What?
It was "Kiss Me More."
Yo,
that's the one. I was like, I walk in the bar. I was walking into a local bar, and then
dude, I kid you not. Like our set list changed like so many times because I listened to so many things. But I didn't realize that was like so late because that was like our.
No, yeah, I think it was like
of our set list.
It was like your second set. I walk in, I just hear, "Can you kiss me more?" Yo, they're playing that. I'm like, oh shoot. I'm like, okay.
I had to do the clean rap.
Yeah.
Because my mom and my dad were watching.
I didn't know your mom. I like that they say mom.
My mom?
Yeah. Say mom. I got one.
Mom,
you don't understand me. You don't get that I'm a creative. And she's like, mom, son.
Yeah, no, my mom is very supportive. My family is very supportive of my career.
See, so my parents are very supportive.
Yeah.
But they were like, Don, you need to understand that you need to make money eventually.
Yeah.
So can you honestly? So we were talking about your latest song, right? Now it's a letter to your parents.
The one that I released or the one I'm about to release?
The one you're about to release. The one we're teasing in this episode.
Okay.
Yeah. So in the song that you're gonna release soon, can you say how soon?
How soon?
Yeah.
What month is it? June?
It's June. It's June.
July.
July. Sometime in July.
Like July.
Ooh, this comes out next week.
It's called. Wait, should I say how?
It's up to you. It's your song. It's your platform.
My mom and my dad.
We got that.
It's a letter to my mom and my dad, and it's called "Find My Way."
Ooh, so "Find My Way," right? I listened to it. I'm like, dang, speaks to my puso, my corazón,
your heart.
Yeah. So especially again, first generation Asian or first generation immigrant, I should say, and only child. parents were like, "Hey," I asked them one time. I said, "What if I want to be a writer?" My parents were just like, "Can you honestly make a living?" And I was like, already I doubted myself, so I didn't go into field. Well, right now I'm in the field of writing,
Right.
with my day job as a former journalist and as someone who makes YouTube scripts because I make films that will never see the light of day. They're unlisted on YouTube, similar to your songs that we were listening to during the break.
Yeah.
But like, so sometimes we just need to, as creators, we need to create for us.
Yeah.
You know, that's also why I'm like, I get it. But they asked me like, can you honestly say you'll be, because like no parents want to see their kids struggling.
No.
The starving artist mentality for me is very like as I'm not a parent. I have a dog. I'm a dog dad.
You're,
But
you're a dog dad.
yeah,
You're a dog daddy.
yeah, can my dog make money? I don't know. She didn't ask me yet. But
Build
but
her an Instagram account.
I should. Nami Bear. That's her IG. Nami Bear 671 because I'm pretty sure Nami Bear's taken. But
Oh.
yeah, because yeah. But like no parent wants to see their kid like struggle. You know, that's why they sacrificed for us. So where was I going with this?
Oh.
But there I found it. So how did you assure your parents, granted you still need some assurance. You have a master's degree. I have no degree.
Doesn't
But
matter.
but how did you assure your parents that you're gonna be okay? Or how are you assuring your parents that you're gonna be okay?
I think a good way to put it is that my parents are, as long as I'm good and as long as I make my way, that it's fine. Like they don't care so much about like the monetary aspect of it. Like they believe in me enough to be able to like run a business. And if I'm being honest with you, my family is my dad. Like I've learned from my dad and my mom, and like they run their own businesses. And if that's the one takeaway that I get from them, then cool. I can carry that with like for my own business, right? My own like career or whatever. I think the good thing is that they don't really worry about me because I think they trust me enough. And I feel like that's kind of the song as well. Like it's what it's kind of about. Like they trust me enough to be like, cool, if like maybe it's not our way, it might be your way, but like we know that we've done our part as parents and we've done our part as like your educators and XYZ, like you'll
So how did
figure
you
it out.
get to that point though? Because like typically, right? Like there has to be, or at least from my experience, I'm only speaking from my point of view. Like there was a hurdle to overcome.
Mhm.
Like my late mom was like, "You will not quit college to pursue a job."
Right.
Then one day I told my mom like, "Hey, so I got an opportunity to be the lead reporter." She's like, "Oh wow!" And then I said, "Hey, so I'm also going to be the unofficial news director." And then eventually I became the news director. And she's like, "Holy cow, my kid didn't finish school, but take a look. And he has staff under him that have degrees."
Right.
So that's how my mom and my dad were able to be like, we don't have to worry about him.
It's pretty chill. Like they don't care about status or anything like that. They're like, if you can make a living off of what you're doing, like, it doesn't really it honestly doesn't matter. Like, my parents and I, sure, we live sort of the same lifestyle, but we also live very differently. Like, if I want a one-bedroom apartment, if I want a studio apartment, if that makes you happy, that's cool. If you're able to eat,
Right.
basically, if you could live and survive and you're okay with that, then that's fine with us. We'll support you either way. And I think that's probably the most, like, valuable thing I can get from my parents. I realize that I'm very fortunate because my parents are, I don't know, they're so supportive. It
No.
doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. And like my siblings and I have very different career paths. Also, I'm the one in music. My sister's like business. My brothers are in sports and like so different from each other. And they're like, hey, if you want to do that, that's fine. Like, as long as you can feed yourself, as long as you can house yourself, that's fine. Like, money doesn't matter as much, but only as long as you can take care of yourself. Really.
And that's where I agree with you because people like the misconception that people get, and they were like, "Oh wow, you're so privileged to say money doesn't matter." I'm like, well, yes and no.
Yeah.
Right? Because
No,
like,
but you gotta fend for yourself.
right, you gotta
Take care of
eat.
yourself. You have
You
to
gotta
eat.
eat.
Put food on the table.
But like it depends on what kind of food you want to eat. Like if you're comfortable just eating like ramen because you want to go out, you know, out being whatever vices you have, whether that's seeing concerts, whether that's like or me going to the bar or like
Right.
whatever vices you have. If you're comfortable, or if you want to not go out and you want to eat good,
Yeah.
you know, people tend to think like you got, you know, like when they say money doesn't matter, it does to a certain extent, but
No, like the question is, what are your priorities?
right there you go. If you prioritize living in a high rise apartment, then you got to spend a little more.
But you can also be smart about it.
Right.
Like there is no there is no one path. There is no like anything. But if you want to try to make things work for your benefit, then I'm sure you'll find a way.
Right. Or and you'll make mistakes along the way. I've made financial mistakes.
That's the best way to learn though.
Right.
Like honestly, okay, the best way that I can explain it is that say you're like exploring a new city, right?
Well, sure. In your case, just
So
traveler.
the best way to figure out where you're going is to get lost.
Right, right.
Because I don't know, you've gotten lost. You can figure out where to go afterwards.
Yeah,
Not a big deal.
I'm from Saipan, so like I got lost here in Guam. I still get lost in Guam.
And that's crazy to me because like it's so small here.
Dude, I'm from a 36-mile island. We can walk the whole thing in a day.
Yeah, that's wild.
You know, like
But I appreciate it because I was born here and I visited enough to be like, hey, this is really tiny. But then I've also lived in like so many different cities where the population is huge and so diverse.
yeah, I appreciate this. Like now it's a slow lifestyle for me, but I can't imagine if I go to the States. I feel like when I come back here, I feel like, oh yeah, everything's moving so slow.
I came here, like even right now, if I'm being honest with you, I think I've only visited 3 times since
the
like
initial-
COVID.
Yeah.
Like honestly, if COVID didn't happen, I'm so sorry about COVID, but like if COVID didn't happen, then I probably wouldn't have seen my family at all.
Dang.
Yeah, and I hadn't seen them in like maybe 3 years.
And that's your sacrifice, right?
Yeah, because I was doing my career. I was focusing on my stuff. I was finishing school. I was doing this and that, and it is a sacrifice, especially when you're like close to your family. And I'm super close to my family, so I didn't see them for a really long time. And I had come and surprised them during COVID, but it kind of like worked out in my favor because I couldn't go back to Canada. It's just like hella strict.
Oh yeah, during that time, right? During that
Yeah, it
time.
was just super strict. Like I couldn't go
Right.
back. It just made more sense for me to stay here. And
Spend
I
time
was
with
like,
them.
if I didn't, then I wouldn't have met you.
That's true, right? Like again, like it was all. Oh shoot, that was my phone. So that was very like, you know, it all worked out, and it's continuing to work out. And now we're gonna transition to the topic a little bit because we in the first half, and shout out to the Canon R7 that I'm filming on because it has no 30-minute record limit because we were over already according to my clock. We're still filming, right, Mr. Producer? So we in the first half of the podcast, we were talking about how you should surround yourself with people who you want to grow with, right? Because you're the lump sum of your friends, right? If your friends are a bunch of losers, you know, sorry. But if your friends are a bunch of go-getters, right? Regardless of what fields they may be in, but if they're driven, like I have friends who are teachers and they're well driven still to educate their kids. Kids being their students.
Yo, I've been a teacher. I teach.
I taught and I originally went to school for education. So and clearly a different career path.
I didn't. I said to my mom's a teacher. She's a math teacher / comp sci teacher. And I told her I would never ever become a teacher. Lies.
I taught, so believe it or not, so I'm really bad at math, but for a while I taught a local Catholic school math.
I'm bad at math. I'm not gonna lie to
Same.
you. So
I'm
bad.
very bad. But because I'm so bad, I can teach it because I have to teach myself.
No, I'm still bad.
Oh.
You know, props to you. But
I can teach up to algebra 1. But anyway,
I don't know what that is in Canadian thing.
that's y equals mx plus b.
Quadratics?
No, the quadratic formula is negative.
We don't call it like algebra 1.
What do you call
algebra 2.
it?
We call it like
Algebra?
Grade 12, grade 11 math. I don't know. I really don't know. Okay, don't ask me. I don't know how I can.
So the quadratic formula is negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a.
Asking you.
I'm gonna get it tattooed on me because I memorized that. She's having more flashbacks.
My mom would have like. My mom would be very proud of me.
Mom, if you're listening, please tell me I got that formula right. I hope I'm right. But anyway, we were talking before the break. Again, to recap, we were talking about how if your friends are go-getters, eventually you're gonna be a go-getter.
Yeah.
And with your songwriting process, you like that process, right? I'm from good.
You're
from Canada, yeah. I'm from Toronto.
Toronto.
If we're outside, oh snap! Sorry, you don't watch. Do you watch TikTok, Miss Hawk?
Sort of.
You just learned about Miss Hawk Twa.
Hawk Twa. I'm so sorry.
Hawk Twa 2024, baby.
What did you say? Like spit on that thing.
Hawk Twa, spit on that thing.
I just learned about that.
Oh, this is gonna be a fun reel. I'm gonna edit. Yeah, that's gonna be the intro. Hawk Twa, spit on the thing. There's no context. No context to being a creative. Oh yeah, I'm gonna make a PG-13, PG one.
My mom and my dad will laugh at me.
Oh boy, my mom would have laughed.
Rest in peace, mom.
Hey mom. Anyway, hold on. Oh, there we go. I cracked my neck.
I heard it.
Yeah, that wasn't from the way of being not good enough. It's just I'm old. Anyway,
you're not even old. Relax.
I am. My back says I'm 40.
Okay, continue.
So how is it like with the songwriting process?
What in general?
With a group, because it's very so. We were talking during our photo shoot earlier on the drive.
Yeah,
you're talking about how it's a give and take when you're working with a producer. Some depending on the scenario.
Yeah.
If I a songwriter go to a producer with an original song complete, right? Like, hey, can we make something from this?
Yeah,
is a completely different process, and I didn't realize that. I had some inkling, some feeling of it, but I didn't realize that if I want to work with a producer with a concept, it's also their song.
Right.
So how is it like? Because I understand as a traveler, you also make you try to create. It doesn't necessarily have to be a song that's produced, but it's also like you're sharpening your skills, you're sharpening your skill set, right? So how's it like creating with different folks?
I think you get better at it as you go. I think that's how it is with any kind of like practice or habit. But I don't know, you have to also know like the balance between like what the other person likes and what you like and kind of mix like the two together. It's really hard. I don't know. I think that's like the hardest part about collaboration. But I mean, with anything, you find like a balance between the two, and you kind of find some sort of middle ground. Um, I guess like, wait, what's your question? Like how do you balance the two?
How do you? Okay, so for me, right, as a videographer, when someone says, "Hey, let's work on a video together," I'm like, okay, I have to realize like if we're making a video together, what do you want out of the video? Do you want to edit the video?
Right.
Because then it's a different storytelling narrative from my point of view.
Right.
Because people forget that the edit is also part of the story.
Yeah.
Now we translate that to you as a songwriter. The lyrics, like let's say you come to a producer with lyrics, but you don't have the concept of the backing track or the beat,
Right.
or the instrumentals, I should say. How do you let go and let them be a creative also?
I think that's part of working on it with them. Like if you haven't worked with them at all, I think part of it is just like, okay, this is their style. I think most of the time you like come up to somebody and you go like, "Hey, I really like your style in general. Like if I want to work with you, I want to work with you." And you have to be willing to be able to like blend the two together. And part of that is just like chemistry with one another.
So do you do your research?
Like, I just person, not even just like as a person. I think for me, I take it very personally. I'm so sorry. I take it really
move it around.
very personally. So it's like, okay, if I want to if I want the sound to be more like intimate or whatever, then I'm gonna look for somebody who can be able to like pull that kind of vibe from it. If not, then like that's fine. It's not a big deal. Then I don't know. You work your way through it. But yeah.
So to go further into that, right? So clear from what I'm getting from you is you're doing your research in terms of the producer for your song, right? If you're trying to make the song sound more pop, you're looking for a producer who specializes in pop beats. You're trying to find country, hint hint, but that's a hint between the two of us.
Okay.
But you're looking for more country style producer.
Yeah.
But sometimes creative folks or artists, songwriters are like, we just need a producer because we want to master this beat, want to make it best, but we don't have the budget to be privileged enough to look for these different creators. Do you think it's worth the investment to say, hey, save up for the producer you want to work with?
It really depends on the artist's like goals. Like not everybody has the same goal. You know what I mean? So like one artist, we could be making the same type of music. They could want to go for like long term, I don't know, a Grammy, sure. And some people find that as like something very life changing and something very prominent in their lives. But another artist could think it's not. Like it doesn't really matter. As long as I'm making music and I'm like, I don't know, providing for myself, that's fine. But it really depends. That's the hard part. I think like people think that there is one like goal. There is one thing to be able to say, "Hey, you know what? I'm not gonna lie to you though. Okay, cool. Like earning a Grammy, great. Like it's a reward, great. It's some sort of status. But like art in general is not like it's very subjective. I think that's the hard part. Like you can say, cool, like I'm on TV, great. I've got like all this, I don't know. You know what I mean? You've got all this like I don't know,
Right. No,
press and like yeah,
I agree.
attention.
So-
But if it's not that person's like goal to be able to do that, then that's fine.
So I guess to steer it more so like, because with me, right, as a so I'll go from the perspective of from my clientele who look into their wedding photographer.
Yeah.
Sometimes I decline gigs because I tell them I'm not the right photographer for you.
Yeah.
And do you because they're looking for a specific image, right?
Is it image or like is it value? It's very different.
Right. Because sometimes I say, are you hiring me because you want to hire because you like my work, or you hire me because I'm cheaper than the others?
It could be both.
Right.
Right? It's just like a business thing for sure.
So but for you as a singer, what's your advice to up and coming artists who are just like, hey, I'm looking to master this song. Do you think I should just find the cheapest producer, or do you think I should just, because we said in the first half, finish is better than perfect, right?
Yeah.
Or done is better than perfect. Sorry.
Yeah.
Do you think they should just find a producer and just that they can afford, or should they just save up their pennies and find a producer they really like the work that they did, the producer's work they really like, and just work with that producer, and they know that that producer can bring out the most of their song?
Depends on the song, really. Like, do they feel like that song is okay? If that song is very personal to them and they think it's very important and they want to invest in it, then cool. Like invest in it. That's fine. It's very subjective, right? If not, then that's fine. Like if you want to do it for the sake of getting stuff out, by all means, do it. But if you think it's very special to you as a person and it aligns with your values as an artist, and it aligns with your values as a person, I don't know. Like anybody's brand can kind of be anything, really. But if they want to, okay, it's like with anything. If you want to go to the gym because you want to get like fit, or if you want to go to the gym because you want to feel better, then that's up to you. Same thing with like music. If you want to do it because you really like the song, dude, you could like my song and it could be really, 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 really trash. But if I don't want to release it, then I don't want to release it. And if I really, really like it and you don't like it, then cool. That's like your opinion.
Right.
If I really believe in it, I'll like release it. And if someone is bound to like it anyway, it's all very subjective. Like any kind of art thing is subjective. Look at something like, I don't know, beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Wow. Wow.
Dude, you're so Filipino.
Wow. Polanyo. They're happy. I unlocked my
I don't know
thought.
what that is.
Polanyo is
No.
like, lana.
Yeah.
Same thing, but with a po.
Okay.
Politely lanya.
Oh, politely?
No, it's slang from Saipan.
Oh, okay.
Because people got me questioning my own slang, dude. I didn't realize like I'll be like la puta, and I'll be like, hey, you call me a puta, and I'm like, no,
No.
it's different. They're like, no, it's not. I'm like, no,
Same thing as Mexican. It's Spanish.
right? I'm like, same thing. Say rice is rice, but
Red rice is not rice.
yes, it is. Yes, it's just rice with
Listen.
listening. She drank.
Imagine. Okay, no. Imagine how. Okay. Listen. Imagine having red rice with your musubi.
I don't have to imagine. We do that.
Where? That's the thing?
The producer's looking like, what? You don't do that?
No, okay. Well, I don't personally. Like, if I go to a store and I buy musubi, then like I'm gonna get like a normal musubi with like spam and egg. But where do you ever look for like musubi with like red rice? Nowhere.
Saipan stores. Heck, there's
Yo,
even
okay,
there's even red rice musubi at Shell.
I've never bought anything from Shell.
When
You have to understand the street that I live on. Okay, look. The street that I live on, Louisa Street. They're the guys who provide all the musubis to all the ABC stores.
Okay, but the Shell is not ABC.
Is it not? No, it is.
It's
Oh, it's Foodies. Yeah, but they don't have red rice musubi.
Okay, I will find a red rice musubi for you.
Next to the place who makes all of the musubi.
When I find no, girl, there's different musubis on island.
Look at the ABC.
Okay, have you still? Okay.
Literally says something Louisa Street, and that is the street. Like my house is right here. You know where I live. My house is right here. Louisa is like right there, which means the house beside me is where they make all the musubi.
But not for the whole island of Guam.
I've never seen a red rice.
Well, okay, you're here for a few more weeks. I will find I've eaten a red rice musubi.
Where?
I'm kind of balotsu right now, so give me a moment. Okay.
Wait, what's balotsu?
Context clues. I'm kind of
tipsy. You're tipsy.
Yeah, we drank reporter juice.
You're a little drunk.
I'm just a little.
Wait. Someone taught me crunk.
Yeah.
What's crunk?
The same thing, but you're cranked. You're hyper.
You're crunk.
I'm not crunk.
But is that how you would say it? You're crunk.
Yeah, yo, I'm crunk right now. Or yo, I'm pretty crunk right now. You gotta hyper yourself up because you're crunk.
Those are your chod.
Nothing wrong with that, okay, my dear friends.
My dear friend.
That's how I just That's how I address my dear audience, my dear friends. So, when I find this red musubi, I will take a picture, I will send to you, and I will update this podcast. I'll be like, I told you so.
I've never seen it.
She's talking to the producer.
I haven't.
You don't know what musubi is?
Listen. No. He hasn't seen the red rice musubi.
No, he doesn't know what musubi is.
Wait, do you know what musubi is? You know, like the rice with the spam on it?
You know.
Yes. But you never see the red rice on it. You don't like spam? Oh, it's okay. I got you.
So quick.
Fine.
Quick.
I'm not judging you.
Quick.
It's like more of like a.
What?
It's like okay. Listen, I only crave musubi when I'm like at the beach or like if I'm in water. You know when you're like, after you swim and you go to the beach and you're like really really hungry.
Dude, spam is.
You're down to eat anything.
Spam is life, bro.
It could be like corned beef out of the can, and like you're okay with it.
So
you don't crave it on the daily.
What?
Dude, I wasn't allowed to eat spam.
Dude, okay. I
wasn't allowed to eat cereal. I wasn't allowed to watch TV.
Okay, the other things I can understand, but spam. That's the one thing I cannot understand. Because
sorry,
I can understand the cereal. I can understand the TV. I cannot understand spam. So for full context, I didn't know. So I didn't know spam was growing up. I didn't know spam was his own brand, and I didn't know Black Label was the poor man spam.
But did you know that it's made with like all of like leftover meat?
Yes, I knew that later in life, but
Do you
as
work
a
out? No, oh, okay,
talking to the
okay.
producer,
Like, I work out. Okay,
but
but
I work.
it doesn't look
But-
like it.
Me too. I work out. I don't look like it either. But but spam saved my life when I was dirt poor.
Okay.
Okay, when I was about to be, when I was low key homeless here in Guam. I came to Guam, no place to stay because the dorms were filled up, but I had my classes filled. I was gonna get a tent. I was gonna stay at the field house at the University of Guam. My friend let me stay with him. So even then, when I was in the dorms at the time, we didn't have a meal plan, so we had to cook for ourselves, right? So I get the spam for my Spotify listeners. Go on YouTube or look at your iPhone or your Samsung. So look at the side. So this is the spam. So a regular spam slice is this thick, an iPhone thickness. I will cut this regular one slice of spam and I will cut it in twain. I cut it in two down the middle. So I think I have two slices of spam. Two. Got my fingers, two.
That's dry as hell.
Yeah, and I would burn it so that way there's flavor. And then I would add ketchup and I would add I had bula. Bula meaning a lot of rice. Because you can get like a 25-pound sack of rice for $20.
Dude, I don't even eat that. I don't even eat much rice.
Dude, but I'm just super saiyan, K. When I was broke, spam saved my life.
Spam or like ramen? It depends on where you come from.
Yeah, but ramen is $1. Okay, I can make a can of spam last a week. You see this?
You can meal plan for an entire week and have like a good meal.
Okay, but when you only have $5 and a can of spam is $4.
Dude, you want to know how to cook? Be resourceful.
Okay, but I live on Guam.
Doesn't matter.
What?
Dude, you know the groceries here are so much more expensive than in Canada?
See, you just proved my point.
I did. I did.
You see, okay, for those of you who watch the podcast, or else
Spam. Do you know spam? Look, how much is the can of spam here?
$4.
Girl, it's $7 in Canada.
Okay, so don't get spam in Canada.
But that's what I mean. Like, you can't get spam. Like, it's not a cheap food. It's not like, it's not a uni food. It's not like
Understood, but when you compare apple to orange, okay, here in Guahan, because we're gonna be politically correct up in here, spam is cheap. Well,
Oh yeah, okay, that makes sense. Spam is cheap.
It used to be $2. Anyway, so here's our prop, the Ryko GR2. This is half a can of spam, and I can make this last 4 days. This is how much I can make this thickness.
It's thicker than that.
Yeah, but I'm saying this thickness of spam I can make last 4 days.
Damn, you'd be starving.
Dude, yeah, and I'm still fat. So so back on track with she's filling the reporter juice. That was a good. I can't believe we spent a whole last 10 minutes on talking about spam. So back on track. Okay. With respect to being an artist, okay. Starving artists, whether that
Starving? Who said starving?
you know, because like I have artist friends who are just like, yeah, I would artists being like anything from singing to being a videographer. They like you said, it doesn't necessarily mean monetary sacrifice. It could literally be they're sacrificing their food. Like they're sacrifice rather than eating a nice, well balanced meal, they're eating $1 kimchi bowl or ramen, right? Because it's only $1. And I can, and fun fact, I can make one bowl of ramen. The kimchi bowl, I can make it last 3 meals in one day. So
I'm probably like 2 feet
2 feet of what?
shorter than you, and I would probably feel like that's not enough.
So you take the kimchi bowl, right? And then you break it in half. So for breakfast you take, and then you take half of the supu, you take half of the seasoning.
Oh, seasoning.
They
Okay.
put that in there. And then for lunch you take the half that you broke off and you break the other half. You break into quarters. And then that's lunch. And then for dinner, if that's the remaining quarter, that's your dinner. So I've been a starving artist. Okay.
I have been too. Okay.
She has been as well, so she can attest
I
to
still
that. But we all have our. So, do you think? Obviously, when people think starving artists, they think monetary. But you said it's. What advice do you have that? It's not always monetary. It's literally something else. Like you sacrifice time with your family.
Yeah, I feel like for me it's like I mean, sure, it could be very fortunate for me, but, like, my sacrifices are, like, I don't get to spend time with my family at all, and we're very, very close, and so I live so far away from them that I can't even see them, and cool, at least I could feed myself, but you know what, like, if I can kind of do my own thing and pursue my guess, like, the career that I want, then that's fine too. Um, I don't know, it really depends on someone's priority. Like, how do you wanna live? I want a nice house? Cool, invest in that. It really like, no judgment. If that's what you want, then I'm pretty sure someone will go for it. If that's something that they really, really want, then they'll probably make that their priority to be able to, like, fill that, right? For me, I just be able to, like,
Make
make
music.
some music, and then if I could feed myself, great. Like, I don't have any obligations, I'm single. Like, I don't do anything, and so, like, cool, like, I can no, that's not an don't say it, Dawn. I shut up. Shut
Uh,
up.
I'm gonna say anything.
No, don't say anything.
That's why I didn't say anything.
I already saw your
I
face.
was like,
I'm just saying, it's like, if that's not my priority right now, that's fine. Like, if I wanna feed myself and be able to, like, feed myself during that time, that's fine. But hey, like, it's really up to me. If I wanna be able to save up for a home or an apartment or whatever it is, then I'll make it happen. I think people kind of surpass the fact that, like, if they really wanna do it, they're gonna do it.
fair.
If they really, really wanna do it, then they'll sacrifice something to be able to make whatever they really, really wanna, like, happen, but they don't realize that it takes time.
Right. No, yeah, and a lot of I'm guilty of this too with instant gratification.
Right.
Producer asked me one time, recent, very recent. By the way, happy belated birthday to the producer. So,
Day to you.
what?
Happy birthday to you.
Skirt.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Birthday to you.
Skirt papa.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah. But anyway, so producer also said like, "Hey, you're down to go cycling. You're down to go do all these long distance, but you're lazy to edit." I said, "Yeah, because these give me instant gratification.
Yeah.
The edit doesn't. Sometimes I'm just like, oh man, I didn't color grade properly, or sometimes I'm like, yo, I used the wrong clip or I exported wrong or whatever it may be. All these excuses in the world,
Yeah.
right? But really, it's like what's your priority though?
Yeah.
Right? Because I remember when I first started in the podcast, I was very like, yo, let's get this. I would same day edit. And then now my only restriction that I couldn't control was my internet speed. Shout out to the producer. I got an Ethernet cable. Add me on Valorant because now I'm actually not lagging.
Is it
But
a game?
yes, we talked about it in the first.
Oh, yeah.
But
Sorry.
too much reporter juice. But sorry. But as someone with a business music and business degree, right? What do you have to say, like, without repeating that it's your priorities? What do you have in terms to say on how to what should creatives, especially in your line of work as in music? Because I feel for me as a photographer, there's always work for photographers,
Right.
but with a musician, I don't know that field. I don't know how it is to be a freelancer in that field. What's your advice in terms of what should you prioritize as a musician so that way you can continue doing this without having to, like you said, there's different passive income streams, there's different revenue streams. But assuming this musician has all of that, what should they prioritize first so that they can continue doing music?
That's really up to them. I think, like, I can answer personally.
Speak personally if you're
like,
comfortable.
Yeah, personally, I think, like, my strengths kinda lie in, like, coaching, and so then I would teach, right? Like, if kids want to better their technique in, like, singing, sure, I'll help them out. Um, like, I've done stuff for, like, they just need a top liner, like, they need someone to like, a vocalist for one of their songs, then cool, like, sing for their song. If they need a writer, then cool, I'll sing for it, and then I'll, like, write for it, and then, like, cool, th 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 there's that.
Right.
But there's also like a whole other music like avenue besides just making music for yourself as an artist. Like there's sync music. You don't realize it, but
What's that?
sync it's like when people use music for ads or like when people
Oh,
use music for movies or
right,
TV
right,
shows and stuff. Dude, that's a whole other avenue
right.
that a lot of people like definitely explore.
Right, we were talking. I briefly mentioned like one of the unreleased demos you had. I said, "Oh, I could see this being an Epidemic Sound." Epidemic Sound is where I get a lot of my stock free music. Affiliate link down below. But anyway, but what I'm trying to say with respect to like prioritizing in terms of bills, do you think that musicians should prioritize food or food, shelter, and water first of like what should I prioritize first before they even get into the next investment venture?
Do what you need to do to live. I feel like you can really push yourself in that sense. And
Fair.
yeah.
So
So
this is one of our longest episodes.
yo.
We're at like an hour 30. And dang, dude. But you know, we don't get someone who opens up for the Raptors very often.
Shut up.
So she sang for the Raptors.
Yeah, whatever.
She sang for the Raptors.
Blah, blah, blah.
Any last tidbit of advice you want to say to my dear friends, to my dear listeners?
Um, be open. I think like be open to collaboration, be open to like opportunities around you. You really never know. I mean, even if you're not so keen on it, like you really never know. If you don't try it, then like I said, you'll never know. So try it out. If it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work out. But if it does, cool. Roll with it.
Roll with it, Biba. Anyway, here's Skipping Stones on the outro. Thank you again so much to Beassli. And yeah, man, check her out. New song coming out in July. Affiliate links down below. Thank you so much, Beassli or Isabella. Here is her links down below. Have a good one. Stay chelo. Adios.